We're often searching for these, complex health fixes.
Right.
But what if something really basic, like the olive oil in your kitchen, was key? Our source today, it's this YouTube transcript, makes that exact point. It looks at places like Italy, Algeria, Spain, Tunisia, Morocco.
Yeah, the Mediterranean, North Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Regions known for, well, pretty exceptional health historically.
And the video really ties that back to olive oil being a staple there. It's fascinating.
So that's our mission for this deep dive, right? To really unpack what this video is claiming about olive oil. Is it really life-changing? What's the evidence?
Precisely. Because the claims are broad. I mean, we're talking heart health, brain function, diabetes, depression, even cancer and aging and obesity too. It covers a lot of ground.
Okay, so let's start with the basics then. This olive oil. What exactly are we talking about?
Well, fundamentally, it's a liquid fat. Comes from the fruit of the olive tree, Olea europaea.
The traditional Mediterranean one.
That's the one. And they get the oil just by pressing the whole olives. It's quite a direct process.
Simple enough, but it's used in so many ways.
Oh, absolutely. Cooking, obviously, frying, salad dressings, but also historically in medicine, cosmetics, beauty products. It's incredibly versatile.
And started in the Mediterranean, but now it's everywhere.
Yeah, globally used. People use it as a dip for bread, for cooking, salads.
And the video even mentions people drinking it straight for health reasons.
It does, yeah. Consumed by the glassful sometimes for those perceived medicinal benefits. So understanding its potential impact on you is pretty important.
Okay, so the video dives right into heart health.
Yep.
Calls olive oil a protector.
It tackles heart disease head on, calls it the leading cause of death, which it is.
Right.
And then positions olive oil as this key defense. It brings up observational studies.
From those Mediterranean countries.
Exactly, showing lower rates of heart disease there. And, well, that links directly to the Mediterranean diet, which is famously high in olive oil.
Okay, but how does it supposedly protect the heart? Does the video get specific?
It does, yeah. It outlines a few mechanisms for extra virgin olive oil specifically.
Like what?
First, lowering inflammation. That's a big factor in heart disease, we now know.
Okay.
Second, preventing LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, from oxidizing.
Ah, oxidation. I've heard that's important.
Very. It's a key step in plaque forming in your arteries. Then it talks about improving the lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium.
Which helps blood flow.
Crucial for healthy blood flow, yeah. And it even suggests it might help prevent excessive blood clotting.
Wow, that's quite a list.
It is. And the video says, a lot of studies prove that. So especially if heart issues run in your family, this is potentially really significant for you.
Okay, moving from the heart to the brain. Alzheimer's disease. Such a devastating condition.
It really is. And the video describes it accurately progressive, no cure currently, causes memory loss, other damage.
And it brings up those beta amyloid plaques.
The plaques that build up in the brain in Alzheimer's. And here's the really interesting bit. It claims olive oil has something in it that may help remove these plaques.
Remove them. That's a huge claim.
It is a very hopeful one, if true.
Does it mention other brain benefits?
Yeah, it also references studies, again from the Mediterranean region, suggesting olive oil is generally good for brain function.
Oh, so?
Things like preserving brain cell health, boosting memory, given how common Alzheimer's is becoming.
The idea that olive oil could offer some protection?
Is definitely attention-grabbing, yeah. Especially that potential link to clearing plaques.
Let's switch gears to diabetes. Type 2. The video calls olive oil very protective. Strong words.
Very strong. It explains type 2 diabetes, the body's issues with handling sugar.
Right.
And claims olive oil is protective based on studies showing benefits for blood sugar levels and insulin sensitivity, how well your body responds to insulin.
Okay. And it singles out extra virgin again.
It does. Saying extra virgin olive oil reduces blood sugar and cholesterol more effectively than other fats.
That's important for diabetics, isn't it? The cardiovascular risk.
Hugely important. Better glucose and cholesterol control directly impacts heart health, which is a major concern if you have diabetes.
And didn't the video mention a specific study? Yeah. With a big number?
Yes. A study with 418 people found that a diet rich in olive oil apparently cut the risk of getting type 2 diabetes by 40%.
40%? Wow.
Yeah, the video emphasizes that, saying 40 is a huge percentage. It suggests a dietary change could make a massive difference to your risk.
Okay, what about mental health? Depression comes up too.
It does. It notes depression is rising and sort of hints at a link with trans fats in our modern diets.
Trans fats, right, the unhealthy ones.
Exactly. And it positions olive oil, which is full of monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, the healthier kinds, as a better choice.
So swapping them out might help your mood.
That's the idea presented, that olive oil might positively influence mood, unlike trans fats. It's quite something to think our fat choices could impact mental well-being like that.
Is there research behind that claim in the video?
It mentions findings suggesting people who eat more trans fats have a higher depression risk compared to olive oil users.
Okay.
And it cites a Spanish study, too, which found olive oil appears to protect slightly against depression risk, even when they accounted for other things like diet, activity, lifestyle.
So potentially mood boosting rather than depressing. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, cancer, a topic that affects, well, pretty much everyone in some way. The video suggests a preventative angle.
It does touch on that. It mentions studies suggesting olive oil may help prevent various cancers: breast, bowel, colon, even childhood leukemia.
What's the thinking there?
Well, the video gives a basic explanation. Cancer involves cell mutations, often from toxins.
Right.
And it says the body needs vitamins and antioxidants to fight those toxins, and olive oil contains antioxidants.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Anything more specific?
It does mention the monounsaturated fatty acids in olive oil, possibly lowering the production of certain prostaglandins.
Prostaglandins?
Yeah, they're involved in inflammation and can play a role in tumor growth. So the idea is olive oil might interfere with that process.
But this is still being researched, right?
Oh, definitely. It's an active area. The video presents it as a potential link worth looking at.
Okay, let's talk obesity. This one seems counterintuitive because olive oil is fat, it's high in calories.
Right. That's the interesting part. The video acknowledges obesity is about excess energy stored as fat, and yes, olive oil has about 9 calories per gram.
So you'd think more olive oil equals more weight gain?
You would think.
Yeah.
But then it points out that in those Mediterranean countries where they eat a lot of olive oil,
They have less obesity.
they tend to have lower rates, yeah. It's a bit of a paradox.
So what's the explanation offered?
It suggests that the type of fat might matter more than just the calories. The claim is that an olive oil-rich diet might actually be better for long-term weight loss than a strict low-fat diet.
Better than low fat.
That's the claim. It even calls olive oil one of the purest forms of fat that can be consumed, suggesting maybe the quality, the physiological effects, are key for weight management, not just the calorie count.
Okay, so finally, the big picture. Aging. How does olive oil fit in there, according to the source?
Well, it kind of ties everything together. The argument is, if olive oil helps prevent heart disease, potentially helps with brain health like Alzheimer's, diabetes, keeps skin healthier, maybe even helps with mood.
Then it's basically slowing down the negative parts of aging.
Exactly. It's presented as contributing to a slower, healthier aging process by tackling many common age-related health problems. The video concludes it makes the process of aging slower.
So it's a holistic view, prevent the diseases, live longer and better.
That's the overall takeaway, yeah. Preventing those specific issues contributes to better aging overall.
So if we boil down the video's main message,
The core point is, olive oil is presented as incredibly healthy, backed by, well, multiple studies, as it says.
Right.
It keeps coming back to the Mediterranean people as proof healthiest populations, high olive oil intake.
and the big hitters, reducing risk for heart disease, diabetes, depression, cancer, Alzheimer's.
Yeah, these major, often fatal or incurable diseases. That's the crux of the argument.
It ends with a pretty direct suggestion, doesn't it?
It does. A small glass of olive oil before sleep to improve health and cut down disease risk. Quite a specific recommendation.
Okay, wow. That's covered a huge range of potential benefits, all from this one source material. It's a lot to take in.
It really is.
Think about all these major health areas: heart, brain, diabetes, cancer, aging. What aspect of these claims about olive oil feels most, I don't know, compelling or maybe surprising to you listening?
For me personally, I think the Alzheimer's connection is particularly striking.
Yeah. Why that one?
Just the idea that something dietary, something relatively simple like olive oil, might interact with those beta amyloid plaques, or generally support brain cell health in the face of such a complex disease that's really profound, potentially. It highlights how much our daily food choices could matter.
It definitely makes you think, doesn't it? Could this everyday ingredient be doing more for our health than we realize?
That's a good question. Maybe prompts you to look into those studies mentioned or just explore the Mediterranean diet more broadly.
Yeah, perhaps dig a bit deeper into the evidence yourself.
Absolutely. Understanding the why behind these claims helps you make informed choices for your own health. It's about seeing what might fit into your approach to well-being.
Well, that brings us to the end of this particular deep dive. Food for thought, definitely.
Indeed.
Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring.